Welcome to Epic Geek Out, the only show on the internet that tapes their episodes in a real haunted house. I'm your host, Rob.
And I'm your host, Chad, and today we're talking about the horror film The Conjuring.
And on Thursday, we're going to be reliving Comic-Con through the lens of others, because unfortunately, we did not get a chance to go this year, sometime soon. So we're just going to be recapping this past weekend's Comic-Con.
As always, you can check us out over at Twitter, at Epic Geek Out. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/epicgeekout, and also check out the website, www.epicgeekout.com. But let's get into a review of The Conjuring. So The Conjuring is a new haunted house kind of movie. It stars Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga.
Farmiga?
Yeah, I can't say it. I apologize. Correct me in the comments section below. And it is the story of this family. They move into this new house. You know, mother, father, and I think 62 daughters, or maybe 5.
6, I think.
Yeah, I think 5 actually. It's some high amount of children, and it is the story of they move into this house, kind of they're downsizing and moving away from like the city, and then the Conjuring starts to happen. 2 paranormal experts are brought in to try to help them with this case, and it kind of starts out as like a haunted house paranormal activity movie in the beginning, not like this the way they shoot it, but then it moves into kind of an Exorcist movie towards the end. So Chad, what did you think? And this is from the director of Insidious.
Yeah, and also based off of real people.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, they used the real people in the some of the commercials for this, which I thought was a kind of an odd choice for marketing. But yeah, so what do you think of The Conjuring?
And the Warrens are famous
demonologists
and
kooks,
stuff,
if you will.
Yeah, I love scary movies. I think it's a really cool genre that I love to be scared. I don't really get scared too often.
Whereas I get scared very easily and jump very easily.
Yeah, so we reviewed Sinister, which I loved because it actually was very frightening and scary, and just it's hard because everything's been done so many times at this point that it's hard to kind of get that scare that when it's the same thing over and over again. This was really good. I didn't feel like it was as scary as what I would have liked, but I think a lot of the stuff was really cool. The way it was shot was very different. There's a lot of really cool shots. There was this one where she walked up the steps and it inverted the camera upside down, which was super cool.
That was used a couple times too. Like when the girl looks under the bed, you're in like a kind of a POV view of what she's seeing.
But then
so everything's inverted. But then it was
really
well
cool.
done. I agree.
Really cool.
Yeah.
But in terms of a lot of the scares and everything, there was a lot of very overused tropes in horror movies. I mean, there was the creepy doll in the movie. There was the creepy music box,
Birds
all that
flying
stuff.
into the house.
All that stuff that's really overly used, which is fine. But I didn't think anything was super new. Even the exorcism portion of it and kind of the motives and everything, nothing really new brought to the table, which is okay. It's not that it was bad. I just think that from an originality standpoint, it wasn't anything we haven't seen before, but it was done well enough to make it worth a watch. And I think the actors in this really stand out as being able to carry it a lot. A lot of the girls are pretty decent. I mean,
I think all the
enough.
kids are very believable.
And their reactions to certain things that happen, even though, again, they didn't leave the house, when they should have left the house, every movie. I didn't feel like it was as annoying in this movie because, they kind of brought light to the fact that even if they left, it wouldn't matter because it's latched onto the people.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then there was also an economic point, too, that, this family didn't have the means to leave the house either,
Right.
I think it was said, who's going to take in a family of 7?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, I mean, overall, that stuff, it was good that it wasn't as irritating as other movies where it's just leave, this crazy stuff's happening, what are you doing? So, I mean, it's interesting now, we see a lot of the stuff that was made popular by Paranormal Activity making its way into actual films, like the grabbing and pulling of legs, the special effects stuff that happened in Paranormal Activity is now, very popular in these kind of movies. So that was just interesting to see. But overall, I'd say that I enjoyed it. Wasn't amazing, but, I mean, I think it's definitely worth a watch for sure.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I think it did have the tropes of a horror movie, but unlike some other movies that we saw, like Evil Dead, which our complaint about that was it was just all gore. It didn't feel right. This at least was filmed spectacularly, in my opinion. I think this was just filmed really beautifully, and that is what made things scary in this. There are a couple funny moments, that things jump out at you that aren't scary, and it's just a loud noise kind of thing, and they fool you and stuff like that. But I love that this movie was like two movies kind of put together. Most horror movies are running around like an hour 30 or something like this.
Yeah.
This was a little longer, and I think that the movie benefited from that because you got to spend more time with the family. They kind of made it where it got brought home to the detectives that were working there. So there was an extra element where like you're worried for them too, opposed just a priest coming in and performing an exorcism, and you see nothing about his life. The movie was in the beginning before they met. It showed a little bit of what they've done in the past, and I think it really made you care for the characters more than, let's say, other movies.
Right.
There's multiple spirits in this house, and they kind of explain that with the origin of how it happened and things like that. So I think it was rich in like the horror movie lore, and I think it earned kind of all the scares. And with Sinister, I didn't like the ending of that, whereas I think this had a pretty strong ending to really pull everything together. Two characters were kind of introduced at the end that really just, I guess they needed more people. I wish they did a little bit of backstory for the two characters that were just kind of like thrown in at the end, like his assistant and a police officer, which I don't know why a cop was involved, but I think it was filmed great, and I think that's what a horror movie needs is unique camera angles.
Yes.
It wasn't shaky cam by any means, but it had some movements where it wasn't a steady cam. You get to see into this corner, and I really appreciated that aspect of it. So, I would recommend it. It opened on a very busy weekend in the movies. It was The Conjuring, R.I.P.D., Red 2, and Turbo all opened new this weekend.
Wow.
And this one got the best reviews out of all of them. And, we didn't see the others, but I think it deserved the high praise. And, I think it was a solid movie from front to back. So,
yeah, so check out The Conjuring if you're into scary movies at all. It's definitely worth a watch.
So it's that time of the episode where we like to give our thanks. Chad, what are you thankful for today?
Oh, I love this. So there's something that's back on TV that I love so much, and I'm so happy it's back. Whose Line Is It Anyway is back.
One of the worst
my
shows
PHL
ever.
17 or yeah.
Is it the same
CW?
people?
It's on the CW. It's a different host. It's actually I forget what else she's in. She's like a voice of some character, but she's the host, and it's Colin Mockery. It's all the guys back, and then they have like a special guest each time, kind of like the old shows. Like the first one was Maggie from Walking Dead.
Oh, that's
they
cool.
brought on one of the dudes from Glee, the wheelchair guy from Glee. So like really awesome stuff. Wayne Brady, is there. So I think it's hilarious, and I just love it because it's like a show you can just watch real quick, and you don't have to watch every week.
I was never a fan of
Really?
that.
You didn't like it?
No.
I love it. So it was originally on like in Britain, and then Drew Carey hosted an American version, and now it's back on TV on the CW, and I'm really excited. It's on Tuesdays, so if you're a fan of that at all, it's back.
That's funny. So sticking in the theme of The Conjuring, with Netflix, I just finished up Torchwood, and then I'm like, I need another show. So Netflix kept saying, watch Supernatural, watch it. So I'm like, I'll try it. Why not? And I kind of dig the show. It's about two brothers who are going around and, they're fighting demons, kind of, sort of similar to the movie we saw.
Yeah.
But, it's very... their chemistry is really funny together because they do seem like a big brother and a little brother, and it's very monster of the week. With a storyline kind of threaded through it. So I just finished the first season. I'm digging that. Netflix is great for binge watching, and that's what I've been doing.
Is.
So check out Supernatural if you're looking for something to watch on Netflix. It's kind of like what you said. You can just turn off your mind and just enjoy the show. Because I'm sure if I tried, it could pick it full of holes, but. I'll say I've been enjoying it.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard good things, so I definitely definitely want to check that out. So we're going to be back Thursday. We'll be talking about Comic-Con 2013. Some awesome stuff has come out from that, so we're going to be giving our thoughts on that. So make sure you check back for that. But thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you next time.